Well, I don't know what else to say except good morning. What exactly is so good about this morning? Well, I woke up. It's another day breathing. It is a Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. And this is this is the end of New York City. I think that's basically where where I'm at. When I came to New York City 10 years ago, matter of fact, I've told the story uh, about how I came to New York back in 2008, and I moved up here in 2008, and I came up here in 2007, and genuinely thought that New York City was a place where I could really do and be more than what I was able to uh in Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from originally. Uh I considered New York to be a beacon of freedom. I considered it to be a place uh where I could basically get on the right track economically, financially, physically. Uh, and for a long time, that was the case. And then I moved back up here in 2015. And honestly, it just felt like New York City was just getting better and better and better and better. Uh, but as I changed, uh, I would say over the last 5 years, I've definitely done some changing, put on a lot more weight. I have seen New York City go from a town of, you know, yo, what's good? From the how you doings to hey y'all, good morning, everyone. Like that, that's the type of New York City that now exists. And that's the New York City that now runs everything because last night, as many of you know, Zoran Kwame Mamdani, a Ugandan immigrant, not even here in the United States for more than 10 years, 34 years of age, uh, never held a job ever in his life. Mr. Cardamom. Yes, Mr. Cardamom has been elected mayor of the largest city in the East Coast, on the East Coast. An avowed Democrat, a socialist. And I need people to understand once again, and before I go any further, good morning. Hey, cuzzo, good morning. My cousin Tavon, uh, King Wings, great hip hop artist. You guys want to follow him. Zoran an unapologetic, yes, a very much unapologetic democratic socialist. Okay. And please understand, democratic socialism is still socialism. I want to make sure we get the terms correctly because there's a few things I want to cover because there's a few things that need to get covered. One, this notion of democratic socialism is fucking horseshit. There is no such thing as democratic socialism. The only thing democratic about this type of socialism is that more people en masse voted for this shit. And that's it. Socialism is, by its very nature, anti-democratic, especially after what comes next. Because what comes next, please understand, okay? Socialism is the means by which communism is achieved. I personally think that's the bigger story here. Okay? That's the bigger issue here. It's not that people forgot about 9/11. It's not that people forgot about 9/11. And I realize that now. It's not that people forgot about 9/11 when it comes to the election of Zohran Mamdani. It's not 9/11. These are people who don't give a fuck about what happened 25 years ago. People do not care what happened. It's been 25 years. Expecting a, and maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Because I mean, this is just basically going to be a stream of consciousness. I'm going to include some clips of Zohran's victory speech last night. I'm going to try to pack in as much as I can before I have to head to work. But socialism is by nature anti-democratic. Let me go over the numbers. Let me just go over the numbers real quick. Because I'm hurting. I'm actually in pain right now. So, because it sucks. This genuinely sucks. Yeah. Well, yeah, see. You're already seeing it. You're already seeing the foolishness. Yeah. Give me a second. Cuz I'm trying to find this is from last night. I just found what I'm looking for. And please bear with me because I don't have my contacts in. I'm just doing what's. Here we go. There. Just found what I was looking for. Now, these are These are unofficial numbers. Let me just put my glasses back on. At 10:42 p.m. last night, this is from Decision Desk. 1,022,444 votes for Zoran. 844,813 for Andrew Cuomo, and 144,907. So over 2 million votes were cast last night. It's the most votes, according to the Board of Elections here in New York. Well, not here in New York City, but according to the New York City Board of Elections, it's the most votes cast since 1969. 1969. Jamie Sanders, thank you for checking me out here. 5.3 million New York City registered voters, only 2.3 million voted, with 1.02 million of those voted for Mamdani. Where were the other 3 million registered voters? They stayed home. They stayed home. People don't vote. People don't vote. And honestly, with numbers like that, I think it's time to maybe wonder if those people have a point. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm starting to wonder that. I have a friend, William Beck, who talks a lot about how voting is immoral. Immoral. And maybe one day on like Apostate Radio, I'll have him on the show, because I would like to like ask him more about that concept, right? Like, why is voting immoral? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I didn't think I'd hear myself say that, and maybe I'm saying that because this guy, the communist, won. But there is something very immoral about all of this. Zoran, of course, didn't waste any time. That guy immediately. Oh, let me see. Well, let me just tell you, just bear with me. Yeah. Oh, so more. It looks like more numbers have come in. That was from the numbers I gave were from last night, but these look a little bit different. Zoran, 1,036,051 votes. Andrew Cuomo, 854,995. Sliwa, 146,137. Allow me to get something out of the way right now. Okay. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Normally we do Apostate. Normally, you can find us on Apostate Radio, me and my my brother, my co-host, Nino Chavez. We broadcast Sunday nights, 8 p.m. This Sunday coming, we're having the incomparable Mr. Graham Linehan's coming on the show. Can't wait to talk to him, actually, because there's something else that's been taking place around the same time. Can't wait to have him on. But please share the show, share this this emergency stream. Apostate Radio now has a Venmo. The QR code to said Venmo is in the top left corner of your of the screen here. Yeah. This is I think this is going to end up being the Escape from New York fund right here. That right there is the Escape from New York fund. I know I made a GoFundMe earlier. And I had to make that because of some things that happened family wise. But that for the time being is going to be the Escape from New York fund. Anyways, this is who New York City just voted for elected. This is who they just elected mayor.
What the purpose is about this entire project, it's not simply to raise class consciousness, but to win socialism. And obviously raising class consciousness is a critical part of that. But making sure that we have candidates that both understand that and are willing to put that forward at every which moment that they have, at every which opportunity that they're given. We have to continue to elect more socialists. And we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right, or whether it's the end goal of ceasing the means of production, where we do not have the same level of support at this very moment. And what I want to say is that it is critical that in the way that we organize, in the way that we set up our work and our priorities, that we do not leave any one issue for the other, that we do not meet a moment and only look at what people are ready for, but that we are doing both of these things in tandem. Because it is critical for us to both meet people where they're at and to also organize for what is correct and for what is right, and to ensure that over time we can bring people to that issue. The ramifications of victory here is the difference between life and death for so many of our brothers, sisters, and family beyond the binary across this borough of Queens. It's the difference between having cash bail anymore or not.
That's who New York City voters just elected mayor. You elected a communist. Raising class consciousness. Raising class consciousness. Only communists speak that way. These people are a fucking cult. They're a cult. And New York City voted for that. New York City voters elected that. New York City voters elected a 34-year-old whose father speaks like this.
America is the genesis of what we call settler colonialism. And the American model was exported all around the world. Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. One, that genocide was doable. It is possible to do genocide. That's what Hitler realized. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship. You can differentiate between people. The Nuremberg laws were patterned after American laws. Anyway, the U.S. put Indians.
That is who the United States, that is who New York City, that is the father of the man New York City just put into Gracie Mansion last night. And it looks like my friend John McCary, the Republican stronghold in New York City, Staten Island, has been decimated. Democrats now control the whole entire borough. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And the reason why John is absolutely right in saying that is because Andrew Cuomo is a Democrat. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Look at this, folks. All of Upper Manhattan, all of Manhattan, north of Central Park. Manhattan, north of Central Park, nearly all of the Bronx. Even Wakefield, where I lived. Wakefield is this right here, if you can see the mouse. That right there is Wakefield. The entire of the this is who, again, y'all chose this. Y'all chose this. There are people who were on X yesterday and really all last week who were gloating about having voted in multiple places and voted 5 times in one day for Zoran. Maria Alexander says, and just like that, we will never forget was forgotten by design. No. 9/11, I'm going to say this right now. When you have a cadre of people who, when New York City is full now of people who do not care about what happened during 9/11. They don't care. These are, if you look at the people who live in New York City nowadays, if you look at Zoran's voter base, okay, these are people who do not care about anything else except being fun employed. These are people who only care. These are kids, most of them women, okay? They are weak, demoralized, bottom rung, entry level, professional, managerial class people. They are hipsters. These are people who think there is a certain cool factor. They're not from New York City. They're not from New York. They see the natives as people. They see the native population of New York City, especially if you are Black and Hispanic. They see the native population of the 5 boroughs as pets. They view minorities as pets. They do not look out for people. They do not look out for all that Black people and Hispanics are to Democrats and to these socialists. We are votes and the occasional sexual partner. The votes reflect this. My cousin asked how many dead and illegal people voted this time. Bruh, dead and illegals, yeah. Because like I said, there were people who voted for Zoran 5 and 6 times and were gloating about it. They were openly gloating about voting for Zoran in multiple places. Openly gloating about it. I don't care what anybody says. Zoran, the true spoiler. What? See, this the black folk. This the black people right here who are giddy, who are truly giddy over Zoran winning. This is Jabari Brisport. Jabari Brisport posted this. Over 1 million New Yorkers voted for a socialist for mayor, and they couldn't have picked a this. Look at this. And then, of course, because this a true believer right here, he's like, join DSA. This Froshagine is caught up in that revolutionary spirit. Do you understand what that is? Look at this. Oh, yeah. She said, Maria clarifies that what I mean by design are the non-native New Yorkers. You're absolutely right. Libs and illegals. Absolutely. You are correct about that. But that a socialist, a black man, would post this, literally gaying the fuck out for Zoran. I never want to hear I don't want to see that fucking that meme from Django Unchained ever again. Ever again. Because see, that's y'all. That's y'all. Y'all post that. Leftists post that. In celebration. This nigga couldn't wait. He a full-blown part. Look at this. Shame of a man. Shame. We want that. Black folk like that shit. Like, bruh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. See, See, Sonny Johnson gonna make me fuss her out. She's gonna make me fuss her out. I'm trying to. Yeah, see. Like, I'm just gonna show you some of the gloating. And look, I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him rock. This bitch right here, like Nat, me directing traffic for all the people who said they would leave New York if Mamdani won. They happier than a motherfucker. Not a proud American. No, this lady right here is a fucking parasite. This is a parasite. That right there is a fucking parasite. That is somebody who is looking, who is looking for, and granted, I'm not going to say that there's something wrong with this. I mean, it's kind of funny to watch a bitch like that capitalize, imagine that, on a socialist victory. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm going all over the place. I haven't even really gone into let me see. Like you can't tell me when you look at some of this guy's videos, you cannot tell me that this guy was not like you can't tell me he wasn't the billionaire's choice. Looking for his victory speech. I'm looking for Zoran's victory speech. Here we go.
The sun.
His groundbreaking victory speech. Just found it. Jamie Sanders says Mamdani dislikes billionaires, yet he's pictured with billionaire George Soros' son, billionaire Alex Soros, who posted, Mamdani speaks. Communists lie. Communists always lie, ladies and gentlemen. This is not new. This is not new. Communists always lie. Communism is by nature, it is by design, a religion of the rich. It is a religion of the rich designed to make these people, to make rich people feel like, oh, they just care oh so much so that they can keep storing and hoarding away wealth for themselves. That's what this is. Communism is the religion of the self made manifest by the state. This is not new. It is not new. It is not surprising that a rich kid like Zoran would be the new face of communism of American communism. But I found Zoran's victory speech. I found some pieces of it very interesting. So here we go.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns.
Now, mind you, I find it. I find it so crazy that, first off, the first thing that this guy, he quoted Eugene Debs. Eugene Debs ran 5 times for president of the United States as a democratic socialist. You quote Eugene Debs, a 5-time candidate for president, the founder, just make sure I get that correctly, the founder of the Democratic Socialists of America. 5-time candidate for the Socialist Party of America for the President of the United States. And this man quoted him directly. Jamie says, Mamdani speaking now. Oh, really? Where is he speaking now? And Maria says he was carefully crafted a la Barack Hussein Obama. Of course he was. Of course he was. But honestly, I think Mamdani, I think Zoran is I think if anything, Obama might have laid the foundations, but Zoran is a guy who, this guy is a globalist. He is a globalist project. Somebody who is comfortable standing next to and taking pictures with Alex Soros. He's part of a wider project. He's part of a much wider project. And the fact that this guy is again, he is the next mayor of New York City. And like I said, like this guy, this is dangerous.
These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
Hilarious, given that it was a political dynasty. It was a political dynasty that the Soroses built this guy. The DSA built this guy. His mom is a multi-millionaire filmmaker. Daddy is a Columbia University professor. But you toppled the Cuomos. Let's be clear for a second, because I do want to talk about this. Andrew Cuomo, and let me be very clear. I want to talk about Andrew. Fuck Andrew Cuomo. And I'm also going to say this. I am truly disgusted and disappointed at so many people, a lot of whom I know. I am disgusted at how quickly y'all jumped on Cuomo's bandwagon. I am truly upset at the amount of people who simply said, you know what, we just have to go with the guy with bigger name recognition. Instead of the Republican. Y'all want to blame Curtis Sliwa for being a quote unquote spoiler, when if you people, and I mean this, y'all want to blame Sliwa. Okay. Blame him for what? I want to talk about this for a second. Zoran, we already know what's happening, and you know, there it is. To all of you who jumped so quickly on the bandwagon for Cuomo, I'm truly ashamed. I am ashamed. And if y'all choose to unfollow me if y'all don't want to be my friends anymore, because there are some people, I'm not going to name you. You know who you are. I'm just going to say this. You were going to externalize blame onto anybody who wasn't the guy that you decided to throw your fucking support behind. I'm just going to say it. You threw your support behind a guy who got senior citizens killed during COVID. You threw your support. All of you who claim to be fucking conservatives, you allowed the guy who lost the Democrat primary. Andrew Cuomo lost the Democratic primary. He lost his primary and then decided to run as an independent. And somehow the guy who won his primary as a Republican, the guy who won his primary is the quote unquote spoiler. The fuck is wrong with you? And maybe I should have been a lot more forceful before the election. It probably wouldn't have mattered. But again, the guy who lost his primary is the one who is the spoiler. I'm sorry, the guy who lost his primary and ran as an independent, somehow he's the guy who's the spoiler, and now you want to throw Cuomo, and then you want to throw Curtis Sliwa under the bus. You never liked Sliwa to begin with. Y'all was out here talking about how Curtis Sliwa smelled funny. You talked about how some of y'all talked about how racist he was. You didn't like the fact, you didn't like that he was a cat guy. This is a guy who, again, he wasn't part of the cool kids. Just stand on that. Stand on that. Curtis Sliwa wasn't part of the cool kids. And so since he wasn't part of the cool kids and he smelled funny and he plays, he's a cat guy. He's an animal rights guy. And because he's actually the one. No, I'm going to say this. Y'all don't like Sliwa because he reached higher for something that he was never supposed to. Y'all were happy with Sliwa just simply being a sideshow character. Let's just call it what it is. You liked Sliwa when he was down, and y'all loved Sliwa when he was down in the subways. Y'all loved Sliwa when he was just simply, y'all loved Sliwa when he was on WABC. Y'all loved it. Y'all loved hearing his stories when he was, whenever he was on the radio talking about when he was talking about Andrew Cuomo on when he was on air, because he wasn't a threat. He wasn't a threat to anybody when he's, when he's on John Katzimatidis's radio station. And he's roasting other Democrats again, and that's the other issue I have. Okay, that's the other part. What I have borne witness to in the last 10 months since doing Apostate Radio, since starting this show, I have seen this. I have never been more disgusted by the local Republican Party by a local Republican Party than I have been with the New York GOP. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Y'all are incompetent. The New York GOP is objectively a part of the uniparty establishment. I am no longer making. I do not care what you think. I don't care how you feel. The GOP is no different. They are the same, because the New York GOP uses the people of this city, the people of New York, as the party piggy bank to disperse money to other races around the country that they think they can, quote unquote, win. Y'all don't win races. Y'all don't want to do any actual work. That's the other lesson of the election of Zoran. Y'all don't want to do any work. Republicans want to do this shit on easy mode. Meanwhile, the Democrat Party, you have people out here who literally want you dead. They want you dead. How do I know? They just elected a guy who down in Virginia. They just elected Jay Jones. Jay Jones literally was caught writing text messages to people talking about he wanted to kill Republicans. And they elected him attorney general. So you turned it so now Democrats know that they can openly threaten death. They can openly threaten genocide of Republicans, and people will vote for them. That's the lesson. They can threaten open genocide. They can threaten to fucking kill you. And guess what? The public will vote for that. They can shut down the government for over a month. They can shut down the federal government for over a month. They can play games with people's entire livelihood. They can use the mechanisms of the state to impoverish you, to make you desperate enough to go and vote Democrat yet again, all for the same things, the same cycles to continue. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. That's the lesson of the last several months. This is what Republicans get for wanting to run on easy mode, and for wanting to and for thinking they can continue to run away from Trump. Y'all have effectively told not just the people, not just the American people, not just the people of Virginia, not just the people of New York, not just the people of New Jersey. You have effectively told them they are on their own, but you're also telling the President of the United States that he's on his own. Yeah. You've told the President of the United States he's on his own. Y'all don't want to, y'all keep running from this guy. Cuomo, again, Cuomo made no bones about the fact that guy, that he hated Trump. He made no, again, everybody in these races. I know I'm going all over the place. I said I was. I warned you that I was. But this is what happens when you turn on the leader of your party. You don't want help. You don't want, you think that if you separate yourself, y'all really believe, and I'm going to say it now, Republicans think that if they distance themselves from the guy who just won the White House, y'all keep thinking that if you distance yourself from Trump, that you're going to win elections, that you're going to have crossover appeal. How is that going for you? How well is that going for you, huh? How's that crossover appeal working? Because I don't think it's going that well, guys. Winsome Sears distanced herself from Trump, lost. Jack Ciattarelli distanced himself from tried to distance himself from Trump, lost. Curtis Sliwa was never a Trump guy, further distanced himself from Trump, lost. Andrew Cuomo, again, who is an establishment Democrat, and a fucking leftist who, again, Cuomo laid the foundations for everything you see, everything that Zoran is going to do as mayor of New York City. Andrew Cuomo's laid the foundations for on the state level. Bill de Blasio laid the foundations for on the city level. Eric Adams kept the party going. Eric Adams was the step and fetch. Eric Adams was the guy who kept the party going. All Eric Adams was a caretaker mayor who kept everything going. And then the second he started to wake up about what was really going on with the illegals, that's when again the Biden administration used every single weapon within the state apparatus to take him out. They are a uniparty. It's obvious now. The Democrat Party, and the Republicans they are the same. They are the same. Because when a guy who is quite clearly not one of ours, he is a domestic threat, and the people of New York voted for him. Transplants voted for him. White liberals voted for him. Pro-Democrat prostitute blacks voted for him. Pro-Democrat blacks are whores. If you are still voting Democrat in 2025, you are a whore for white liberals. And apparently y'all don't care. Y'all don't care because here's the thing. Y'all are going to continue, and again, to pro-Democrat blacks. Fuck you. Fuck you. Because the way I see it, y'all keep thinking you're going to get something from out these people. Y'all keep thinking that. Black Democrats keep thinking they're going to get something out these people. Only thing you're going to get is shipped out to the fucking suburbs. As they continue to price you out of your fucking neighborhoods. That's what's going to happen. They're gonna let the kids continue to tear the city apart to scare the shit out of the white people who voted for him, who voted for Zoran. That's all these Democrats do. They let your kids run around like savages. They encourage it. They encourage the sexualization. Again, we are talking about a political party, a political system that is dedicated to total chaos. a political party and a political system that is dedicated to total chaos, and they are helped out by the Republican Party. They are helped out by these people. So look, as far as I'm concerned, New York City brought this on themselves. Y'all voted for these people. And granted, there are people in New York City who did not vote for this. And I honestly hope, and seriously, I hope that because, again, I know how these communists operate. They are going to gloat. They are going to rub this in everybody's faces. They're already doing it. They're already doing it. They are already partying like it's 1999. They think they think the revolution is here. You know what? They just might, and here's the thing, they might be right. But anyways, I gotta go. I've rambled enough. Please like, please subscribe. Apostate Radio, Sunday night, 8 p.m. We're going to have Graham Linehan on. I cannot wait to have him on. And also just check the Venmo. Venmo will be there. Is in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Maria Alexander, last thing she says, Black and Hispanic Democrat voters are masochists. For the record, I'm Hispanic. Oh, are you? Well, ma'am, thank you for your support on here. And I will definitely, you're following on you're following on YouTube, so I'll be sure to follow you back. And MTM Cass, Isaiah, thank you. Thank you, my dear. I mean, I'm screaming about this. That's all I'm doing. I mean, because again, I couldn't vote. I've already moved out. I moved out of New York. I moved out of New York last month. There was no, again, the amount of money, the amount of backing that Zoran had behind him on the national and international level, they saw, again, Alex Soros comes out and shows him a picture because, Alex Soros collects politicians. Okay? Alex Soros is no different than his dad. The only difference is Alex Soros is far less subtle about it. Okay? Alex Soros walks around with all the trophies that he's won. All the politicians that he's stuffed with cash so he can mount them on his fucking wall like a trophy. Alex Soros does that, and guess what? He did that with Zoran. So all that bullshit about hating billionaires and wanting to chase billionaires out of the fucking city. No, that guy, Alex Soros, is one of the richest people. And then again, he's a fucking rich kid. No different than Zoran. They are the same person. These are the same people. These are the exact same people. Zoran Mamdani and Alex Soros are the same people. Y'all can talk, and Maria brought it up. Maria brought it up right here. Trump and his billionaire friends, also libs. Trump and his billionaire friends, also libs. Soros Incorporated. Exactly. Y'all say nothing about, y'all hate billionaires you can't control. That's what it is, Democrats. Y'all don't like billionaires you can't control. But the funny thing is, more and more billionaires seem to be on your side. until you do something really, really fucked up, and then you can't control them anymore. For example, Elon Musk. Bill Ackman folded like a fucking lawn chair the second the election returns came back from Mamdani. Oh, congratulations, Zoran. If you need help, let me know. If you need help with friends like you, Curtis was right to call you a jerk. That's right, Bill. I'm saying it. And I'm just a black dude from Baltimore. I don't have any power. I don't have the kind of resources that even Curtis has. And I'm saying right now, Curtis Sliwa was absolutely right to call Bill Ackman a jerk. You tore that man down. You tore Curtis Sliwa down, and then turned right around and congratulated Zoran. And because again, it's not going to affect you. Whatever happens to the people of New York, it's not going to affect you. Everybody who voted for Zoran, everybody who votes for Democrats, and I'm gonna leave on this note. Y'all act as if, let me take these off real quick. Y'all keep thinking that voting for Democrats, y'all don't think that that the consequences are ever going to affect you. You don't. None of you think that voting for Democrats is ever going to come back on you. That's the biggest problem I have. Bill Ackman, a guy like Bill Ackman, will never experience the consequences of a Zoran Mamdani. He's got more money and enough properties for when it's time to go, it's time to go. These bitch ass transplants who come from other cities, who come from other states across the country with post-grad level degrees, making a little bit of money here and there, but yet are still taken care of by their mommies and daddies. They're conservative mommies and daddies, by the way. They are going to be just fine, because when things really get bad in New York City, when you don't have any, when the police, when there's no police, no firefighters, when you have Sharia law officers, when the only law that's enforced is Sharia law, you really think that these fucking white people who back Zoran, y'all think that they won't call mommy and daddy for a halo extraction? You really think that they're not gonna call mommy and daddy to get them out of New York City? I was here during COVID. They did that shit during COVID. MTM Cast says they have a safety network they don't even realize. Absolutely, they fuck right they do. Absolutely they do. I'll put it like this. That's a safety net I couldn't call. My parents aren't rich people. But all these people have to do is just simply say, oh, I am a communist. I care more about the poors. I care so much about the poors while never having been one myself. So therefore, I'm going to keep building $7,000 a month studio apartments in Brooklyn. I am going to keep the party going. I am going to, pretend to be these holy and righteous people as the poor continue to get poorer. You've created a brand new surf class and don't even realize it. Anyways, I got to go. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you sometime soon.